What is up, Buckeye fans? Welcome back to another episode of Locked On Buckeyes, part of the Locked On Podcast. And I'm your host, Jay Stevens, also the host of the Jay Stevens Podcast. It is Friday, January 29th, the year 2021. And on this Feel Good Friday here on the podcast, we're going to get you ready for the Buckeyes matchup this Sunday against the Michigan State Spartans. As always, you can follow me on Twitter at JStevens07. You can also follow the podcast on Twitter as well at Locked On Buckeye. Lineup for today is segment number 2. We're going to talk about some things the Buckeyes need to clean up going into Sunday's game against Michigan State. Segment 3, it's all about a young man that accepted a preferred walk-on position to be a Buckeye here in the fall. We begin today's show talking about the matchup the Buckeyes have on Sunday afternoon against the Michigan State Spartans. On paper, you look at the schedule, you look at the record, Michigan State 8-5, not very hot. Started off the year 6 wins in a row. And I remember watching early in the season, watching them play the basketball. I'm thinking Michigan State, oh my goodness, if they keep this up, they're going to be a tough out every night that they play. Unfortunately, they lost the next 3 games against Northwestern, against Wisconsin, and against Minnesota. Won the next 2. Then they lost to Purdue and had 3 games postponed in a row. Coming back off of that postponement just last night. Played a lackluster performance, put up a lackluster performance against the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, a team who in themselves have been struggling of late. But you know, when you're at home in the rack in Jersey and the Spartans come to you and they play like they did, yes, Rutgers, all the points they can score. They scored 67. Michigan State only scored 37. You look at Michigan State and their track record of how they play the basketball. They may not be the best early on in the season or in the middle of the season, but this is normally the time that Tom Izzo coach teams start to turn over and start to play their best basketball. The leading scorer on Michigan State is a guy by the name of Aaron Henry. He won a state championship in high school. He's actually from my hometown. And I know I went to that Final Four match and that buzzer beater that was there that his teammate hit to get them to the state championship. And I went to the state championship game the following week. One thing about that team that Aaron Henry was on that year in high school, and I bring this up to make one quick point here in a second. With Aaron Henry in high school, his team that year early on in the season, even in January, wasn't that good at all. I watched them lose by at least 15 points to a Kyle Guy-led Lawrence Central Bears team. I believe Kyle Guy was on that team. If not, they still lost because that team, the Ben Davis team that year, was not that good. But something turned on. Something changed. Mark James, the head coach at that time, started to get in on them in practice, started to change some things up, and they started to play very, very well. One thing I know about teams that get beat really, really bad, especially right now, you have basically a month left between now, a little over a month left between the games right now and the Big Ten Conference Tournament. These teams are striving to get and play their best basketball. They're striving to get better. They're striving to do everything that is needed to right the wrongs in the season so that the wrongs do not propel them and ultimately lead them to not make the NCAA tournament. Yes, the Big Ten season is a gauntlet, but there's too much talent on this Michigan State Spartans basketball team for them to look like they did on Thursday night against the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. One guy I like when I watch this team play is Rocket Watts. He is averaging 9.7 points a game, 1.8 rebounds a game, 3.4 assists a game, and he's a guy when he's on the basketball court, he could turn it on very, very quickly. Yes, he may be somebody that's not playing very well right now. The team itself is struggling to play the basketball. But what Ohio State hopefully learned in their matchup on Wednesday against Penn State, throw the record out the window. Forget everything. Any given night, a team in the Big Ten can force you to struggle. can force you to commit 17, I'll repeat, 17 turnovers in one game. And ultimately, what they do with that is they're striving to hinder you. Ultimately, the Buckeyes did cough up the lead, but got it back. But a team is trying to get the lead and keep that thing throughout the rest of the game. Yes, Michigan State is not playing really good basketball right now, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it and say they are. They're not playing good basketball. But Ohio State sometimes has a tendency to play down to their opponent. And this is a game this weekend. Yes, you'll be in Columbus. It's a home game. CBS will be there. Will my guy Ian Eagle and Bill Rafter be calling the game? I'm not sure. That's to be determined. I have not seen anything on the Twitter that says that just of yet. But hey, knowing myself, I will find out who's calling the game, because I know some of you like to know who's calling the game on that day, because good commentators, that raises up the anticipation and your hypeness, you may want to say, to watch the basketball. The Buckeyes cannot look past Michigan State. You can't at all. People have said Nebraska and Penn State are the bottom feeders, and sometimes Maryland are bottom feeders in the conference. That's okay. Go for it. Go for that if you want to. Michigan State has too much talent, and coming off a loss like they suffered on Thursday, this is the kind of game you lose, you play really bad, you have an opponent coming up, you have nothing to lose in the game. Well, you kind of do, because you're hurting yourself and have your chances to play in the NCAA tournament. People may say on the TV the Spartans have nothing to lose, but they do if they lose this game. I'm curious to see what happens when Michigan State steps on the court. Do they rise to the occasion? Do the Buckeyes play down to their opponent? That's to be determined, but don't look past the Michigan State Spartans. You cannot. You lay an egg, you try to walk like it's just a walk in the park, they can beat you, they can upset you, and you'll be the ones having to talk to the media, and they'll be asking you, what happened? Guys, this is the WKYC Friday, not Thursday, but Friday here on the podcast. We're going to step away very quickly. When we come back, we're going to keep sticking with the basketball and talk about some things that the Buckeyes need to fix in their game on Sunday afternoon. Yes, we've heard us talk a lot about BetOnline. The Super Bowl's coming up. But BetOnline does not only talk about and deal with football, the college football or the NFL football. They have college basketball. They have NBA. They have all the betting lines that you may be looking for. There's only one place that has you covered, and only one place we trust. BetOnline.ag. Sign up today for a free account at betonline.ag and use promo code LOCKEDON. That is LOCKEDON for your 50% welcome bonus. Guys, don't sit on the sidelines anymore. Get in on the action. Don't forget to use promo code LOCKEDON to receive a 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. BetOnline, your online sports book experts. Get more of the sports news you need in less time with our new Locked On Today podcast. Peter Bukowski hosts Locked On Today, a daily podcast breaking down the biggest stories with analysis from our local experts. Start your day with all the sports news you need in under 20 minutes. Subscribe to Locked On Today wherever you get your podcasts. As we continue this WKYC Friday, not Thursday, here on Locked On Buckeyes, guys, let's think about what we witnessed and what we watched on Wednesday evening. I sure hope those of you listening or watching, this will be a continued thing coming every single week. The day of the week may change, but the video will come out every week to help you stay in tune with your Ohio State Buckeye football and the basketball team. And that's what we saw on Wednesday night. For some may have been alarming at times. Some was really good basketball. I like when I see my man Justin Arns stroke that lefty jump shot. I can't do a lefty jump shot very well. I'm not left-handed. I am right-handed. My jump shot right now was not the best, so I'm not going to be stroking many jump shots anytime soon if I step on the basketball court. But Arns jump shots going well. CJ Walker getting reacclimated with the ones at the beginning of the second half. Defense with Arns was somewhat of a struggle. Defense for the Buckeyes, latter part of the first half, there was a couple things that I saw that were quickly evident. One, you may say you find in the stat sheet, turnovers. Suing at the end of the first half gave up a turnover, 2 points Penn State. Michi Johnson at half court, trying to get the ball up half court. You're a freshman. I get it. They're going to put a lot of pressure on you because to them, you are fresh meat. And they did feast at that time. 2 points the other way. Close out at the break and going into the break, 4-point lead for the Buckeyes. And even myself, I'm asking, what's going on? Got to get it together. Got to fix these things because at any given time, Penn State, wrong team. Penn State can overcome this and come back because they have a lot of talent on this team. And that's what happened. One thing the Buckeyes need to fix in this game on Sunday is the turnovers. You can't commit that many turnovers in a Big Ten game in back-to-back games and expect to win. Are you crazy? You can't expect any of that stuff to happen. Are you insane? And I know Chris Holtman, I'm sure, got in on his guys and said, guys, look, we're talented. We're good. We like the basketball. We like what we're seeing from you. But you can't play like that. You can't do this consistently and try to win in this league. You are better than this. Yes, I know your point guard is trying to get reacclimated, to get his body right, and to be able to play the basketball consistently and to start again. And to be a guy that, no matter if he comes off the bench or if he starts, he is a key contributor in the game. And that it was a part in the game. I think it was in the second half. CJ Walker avoided a charge and then ultimately ended up being, I believe, a dunk for EJ Liddell. And then at the other end of the court, he did at the same time trap the man with the ball, jump ball, and that was all CJ Walker. That was back-to-back possessions. One, avoiding a charge, 2 points to his teammate. The other end, double team, trap, jump ball, good defense by both players to be on the same page. 17 turnovers. Atrocious. What are we doing? Is that acceptable? Not at all. That's not acceptable at all. You want to know what else isn't acceptable? And this is where something that when I watch basketball, I get a little upset, a little uneasy, a little disturbed or perturbed maybe might be the proper word to utilize at that time, is when I see people not give the effort and energy and put out the energy on the basketball court that they should. Think about it. You're a coach. You're sitting there. Second half, about 16 minutes to go. Under 16 timeout, you go out, you regroup, you go over some things, some strategy. Here's what we're doing right. Here's what we're doing wrong. Here's where they're exploiting the holes in our defense or the offense. Don't do it again. Let's go out there and win this game. All right, cool. Break. Go back on the court. All right. First possession, y'all got it. Coming out of timeouts, Chris Holtman is phenomenal. Coming out of timeouts and drawing up the right play to get 2 points. All right, cool. We got that. Let's go. What's next? Oh, okay. My man beat me. All right, cool. You going down the court? Other than the court, I got the ball, but I'm not feeling it because my man beat me. So I want to pass the ball. My energy is a little bit lower. Why? I got beat. My energy lower. My effort's down. Why I got beat? All right, cool. Coming down next time, my energy level might go back up. But I get beat again. All right, man, look. All right, cool. So I'm going to sit back and just look and see what's going on. And back and forth, 4 or 5 more trips down the court. Get a little winded, get a little tired, get a little exhausted. Having to play defense a little bit harder than normal because they're forcing you to play defense a little bit harder. And ultimately, what happens? You get tired, man. You know when you get tired, man. Defense takes effort. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm a guy. Let's get to know Jay right now. I'm a guy when I play basketball. I like playing defense. I'm one of those weird guys, man. I am one of the weirdos that likes playing the defense. And there are times when I'm a bigger guy or if I'm skinny, don't really matter to me. I'm going to try to guard the best guy on the other team. Now, that is not always the case because there are times that I can't guard that guy because he is way too good. Normally, I'm not equipped. I have some pretty good foot speed. I'm pretty good lateral movement. mean, there's good things I'm good at on defense, things that I'm not the best at. When it comes to switching and picks, I don't like to switch. I mean, there are times I need to, but I know my effort. I know myself, and I like defense because it forces me to work. Defensive end, hey, that's work, baby. There's a reason why there are a lot of players out there that don't want to play the defense. You watch NBA basketball, a lot of them don't want to play the defense. Why? It takes energy. It takes effort. It takes a lot out of you. A lot of players, they'd rather be on the other end dunking or shooting a three-pointer or layup. No mid-range, man. Today's NBA, mid-range is gone. They want to go ahead and do that stuff and forget going and playing the regular basketball, free-flowing basketball, and putting the proper energy and effort that's needed to play the basketball on the defensive end. Yeah, I don't mind it, man. People think I'm weird, man. I'm not, maybe, just maybe. I might be a weirdo to some, maybe to you listening. You're saying, bro, you like playing defense? You're weird. You're a weirdo. What is your problem? And I'm saying, hey, I know I'm a little bit different cat. I'm not made like everybody else, but that's A-okay. That's what makes Jay who Jay is. And honestly, guys, I like the energy. I like putting out the effort on defense because it makes me work. A lot of guys, a lot of times you're watching the basketball, energy and effort is the only thing missing on the defensive end for that collective unit to be a well-oiled machine to defensive rotations, to be calling out picks and screens, helping out people weak side, rolling over, things like that. And sometimes your energy and effort needs to rise up for the occasion. The Buckeyes cut down the turnovers, keep the energy and effort high the entire time in the game, so you do what's needed to come out victorious at the end of the matchup. Let's step away very quickly. When we come back, we're going to turn to the football. There's a preferred walk-on who just decided to be a Buckeye in the future, and his dad was a Buckeye when he played his college football as well. You may be somebody like me that's looking for the perfect, and I mean perfect, protein bar. You mean one that tastes good, tastes exactly how you want it to taste, and the macros hit the spot. Well, guys, your boy Jay has ended his search, and I suggest you look into ending your search as well. Built Bar is great for the person that is health conscious. It'll help you lose and maintain weight while indulging in a delicious treat. Bars are low calorie, low sugar, high protein, high fiber, and it's great for the keto diet. Go to BuiltBar.com and use promo code LOCKEDON, that is LOCKEDON, and you will get 20% off your next order. Use promo code LOCKEDON for 20% off at BuiltBar.com. Betting on the Ohio State Buckeyes doesn't have to be a guessing game. If you listen to the new Locked On Bets podcast hosted by your boy Q and handicapping expert Lee Sterling. Get daily picks and quick hitting advice to make the smartest possible wagers. Subscribe to the Locked On Bets podcast, brought to you by betonline.ag, wherever you get your podcasts. Welcome back, guys. Listening to the Locked On Buckeyes podcast for the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. We're going to roll on through here on this WKYC Friday in Cleveland, also hitting networks and stations in Toledo and Columbus as well. Let's turn to the football. Not the Senior Bowl. We're going to talk a little bit about the Senior Bowl coming up next week, at the beginning of next week. The Senior Bowl, where Borland, Browning, Cooper, and Hilliard will be playing. That is tomorrow at 2:30 Eastern on the NFL Network. I suggest all of you football fans check that out. You won't see just Buckeyes. You will see seniors all across the country, down in Mobile, Alabama, playing the football in what I call a job interview that holds more weight than normal due to there not being a normal combine this year. The name of this segment over the next 4 to 5 minutes, Kaden Saunders. Why Kaden Saunders, you might ask? Well, last name Saunders. Let's stick right there. Saunders is a name that is not new to Ohio State. And actually, this young man's dad was a former player and a former Buckeye himself. His dad, Mr. Cedric Saunders, played at Ohio State from 1990 to 1993. He started 12 games in all 4 years. He was a Buckeye. Only 2 catches in his first year. He was a tight end. Had 28 catches his junior year and then 27 catches his senior year as a Buckeye. Different style of offense, and you can see that in the stats because he only caught 1 touchdown pass. Kaden Saunders, the son of Cedric Saunders, recently accepted a preferred walk-on spot to be a Buckeye in the fall. One interesting note about preferred walk-ons. The money is not there. You're not getting an athletic scholarship. This young man carries a 3.8 GPA. It's right there in his Twitter bio, and that's what helped him get an academic scholarship to be a Buckeye in the fall. For anyone that's listening or watching this that's a youngster or maybe middle school or high schooler, it's a freshman, sophomore, hey, I want to be a collegiate athlete at some point. Is a preferred walk-on spot great for me? Take notes from this young man. You take care of your grades. If a preferred walk-on spot is there and available to you, you might get an academic scholarship to aid and to pay for the school, where if you didn't have the grades that you could get in, you didn't qualify for the academic scholarship, you wouldn't have that extra or free money to pay for the school, so you could go and be a preferred walk-on in that first year. If you didn't have the scholarship, it's coming out of someone else's pocket to get the money or to pay for the school, and it's not coming to you freely. Key thing we could take from Kaden: 1, get your grades up. Keep your grades up, and good things may happen to you when you go into college. Number 2, seek out places, because just because you don't receive an athletic scholarship doesn't mean there aren't places out there that don't want you to walk on and to have the potential to be a player at that school at some point in time. Kaden Saunders on his Twitter bio says running back, cornerback. Rivals.com, I didn't see his name in 24/7 Sports. Rivals.com has it listed as a running back, middle linebacker. Kaden Saunders, 5'10", 180 pounds, 2-sport athlete. He plays baseball and football in high school, and he resides in Mississippi currently. I am excited. Honestly, anytime you get a preferred walk-on, I am excited because, these guys are going to scratch. They're going to claw. They're going to fight for everything they get. Why? Because nothing is going to get handed to them. Also, Zach Herbstreit, I believe it's Zach Herbstreit, the son of Kirk Herbstreit, is a preferred walk-on to be a Buckeye this year as well. I believe he is a tight end that'll be coming in to be a Buckeye here very, very soon. I love it. I love these moments. I love these type of athletes. I love these type of young men. Why? Because there's a different thing that they bring to the table. 1, you're not getting things handed to you via a free athletic scholarship. You have to keep your grades up to keep your academic scholarship, because if your grades aren't kept up, you could lose that academic money. Then hopefully you got your skills on the football field allow you and help you to earn an athletic scholarship so you can get school to be free for you once again. Preferred walk-ons are fun, man. Especially when you see those videos of all their hard work, where they are doing everything that's being asked of them, where they're getting better and better and better every single day, to the point that it's a time for them to be awarded, and the coaches and the players see, and the coaching staff says, hey, we got a scholarship. Who's it going to go to? Is it going to go to a recruit or this walk-on here? And these walk-ons, man, look, I love these stories because these videos are so much fun to watch. There's a part of me that with the cell phone, I like it, and sometimes I dislike it. It's an aid to me. It helps me, especially in moments like this for the podcast. But there are times that the cell phone gets on my nerves. Everybody wants to text me. Things on Twitter. Got to keep up with the Buckeyes. Got to keep up with news and notes of what's going on in college football, especially University of Tennessee. That might be my next team or my team in the SEC that I may follow and say, hey, man, look, I'm going to ride or die with the Volunteers. That's not going to be my main team, my main squeeze, more my side piece. But I just want to keep around and keep around me when I need to get something done. But they need to remember and know, y'all, my side piece, not the main one in my life. I don't know how I got off on that tangent. I have no idea, but Kaden Saunders. Let's go ahead and wrap this thing up because I'm rambling, right? That part right there, go to Tennessee, made me lose my train of thought. Kaden Saunders, I like it. I am excited. I'm excited to see him here, excited to see him play. Looking forward to seeing him on the field, practice field, and to seeing what this young man brings to the table, and looking forward to the day that he leaves one practice, going to practice, doesn't have an athletic scholarship, leaves practice with one. Guys, thank you so much. WKYC, Friday, not Thursday, but Friday here on Locked On Buckeyes. You guys can always follow me on Twitter at JSteven07. You can also follow the podcast on Twitter as well at Locked On Buckeye. Guys, 5-star reviews. Fill them up on Apple. Fill up the Apple review section with 5-star reviews here on the podcast. It helps more people follow, subscribe, and to stay up to date with the Ohio State Buckeyes just like you do. Other places you can listen to and enjoy Locked On Buckeyes are Google Podcast, Stitcher, and even iHeartRadio. Just name a few places you can subscribe or even follow Locked On Buckeyes so you don't miss a beat. Your Ohio State Buckeyes have a game this coming Sunday at 1 o'clock Eastern Time on CBS against the Michigan State Spartans. Yes, Michigan State had a really, really bad performance on Thursday, but you can't look past them.